Onto the floor! Yeah. Get onto the floor! Onto the floor!
Stop resisting! Stop resisting!
He even said at the custody desk as well that this wasn't self-defence, it was plain murder.
Not self-defence, plain murder. Yes. Murderer.
Just after 6:30 on Christmas Day, a call came into our contact management, and we didn't know at the time. It was quite a confusing picture, but we now know that that was one of our victims, one of our surviving victims, essentially calling in to describe the events as they unfolded. And police officers attended within 8 minutes, and when they got there, they desperately tried to make sense of what little information they knew at the time. As they turned up, Jazwell Brown was getting into his car. They obviously didn't know at the time, but he made off really quickly, and the first attending officers were in fact really lucky not to have been hit by the car as Jazwell Brown drove off. Officers then went into the block of flats in Santa Cruz Avenue, and there they found the first of our surviving victims, Bradley, in a heap on the floor. They did their best to administer first aid to him, and then officers who attended in the minutes after that then made their way up the stairs, essentially following what was a trail of blood up onto the top floor of the block of flats. And there they found Joe. Joe had been really seriously assaulted, and that was very obvious right from the start. And they started to administer first aid. But then within a few minutes, they worked their way across the communal landing and into a flat directly opposite. And we now know that Jazwell Brown had gone into that flat too, and it was there that he had attacked the two occupants, Teohna and Bradley, in that flat. And the officers found Teohna on the balcony in that flat. She'd been attacked in the flat itself, and we now think that she'd probably tried to escape Jazwell Brown by moving onto the balcony. When he made off from the scene, we were quite fortunate in that there was an unmarked car, and an officer spotted Jazwell Brown's black Fiesta as it made off. And this officer managed to stay behind Jazwell Brown's car and call in the support of 3 other armed response vehicles. And the armed response vehicles managed to get round Jazwell Brown's car, they blocked it in, and Jazwell Brown was arrested at gunpoint, having been pulled from the vehicle. He didn't say much after he was arrested, but when he got back into custody, he then made some unsolicited comments, so the sorts of comments that are made outside of that formal interview environment. And some of the things he said were that he really lost his cool, that he went loopy, and he even said at the custody desk as well that this wasn't self-defence, it was plain murder.
Tell me what happened.
No comment.
Do you know anything about anyone being stabbed yesterday on the 25th of December?
No comment.
We had lots of members of the public who were really engaging as well. Being Christmas Day, lots of people were at home, so there were people who heard bits of screaming. They saw Jazwell leaving, and in fact it was one member of the public who phoned us to tell us that Jazwell had got into his black Fiesta and actually gave us the registration number as well, so it gave us a really good starting point. This was a truly awful offence. The acts of violence that were carried out by Jazwell Brown are just beyond explanation. The families have said that today's sentencing is only the start of that healing process, and I know that they have got an awful long way to go, but I genuinely hope that this does mean that there is an opportunity to at least start that healing process for some of them. I'd like to really thank the families in particular as well, because even in the face of some really tragic circumstances, they have conducted themselves in the most unbelievable way. They have given us the time and the space to investigate this properly, and also enabled us to work really closely with the CPS to bring this to court and to present all the evidence that has ultimately led to Jazwell Brown being in a position where he's had no opportunity but to plead guilty.